Rain pings against your window, while her name floods your screen again. She glows on the lock screen, a signal in the attention economy trap. You stare, waiting for your thumb to move first again, as always. You remember, this is how you always lose ground with her here. Choose. You think answering instantly proves love, not the rules you live by. All she really learns is that your time has no weight, no throne. These response windows shrink your life to a buzzing rectangle. Dating dynamics tilt, social proof shifts, you feel like a permanent option. Walk. Kierkegaard watched a man like you hide inside the crowd, not in streets but in roles he plays for social proof. You play the eager one, the always ready source of comfort. You disappear the second she stops reflecting you at all. Mirror. Withdrawal is not ghosting. It is stepping out of costume. You touch your own king on the chessboard, guarding masculine sovereignty. You feel the fear of scarcity when you mute her notifications. You might lose her, but you stop losing yourself for once. Choose. Kierkegaard watches you in a crowded room of screens. You move with them, laugh, and avoid your own reflection. The crowd gives you dating dynamics without responsibility or boundaries. You feel less like a man and more like a notification. You never quite choose yourself. He draws a line between crowd life and inward choice. In the crowd, you chase pleasure, approval, attention, and reassurance. Your windows shrink, while her options stretch in the attention economy. You live, reacting to pings instead of living. You call it love, but it feels like panic. Kierkegaard names another path, a more ethical stance for men. You decide to contact from the inside, not from fear. You think she is the judge. You hand her the gavel. You think detachment is cruelty. It is your first honest no. You start to feel sovereignty when your silence is chosen. Picture the man who stops checking and slows his replies. Dating dynamics shift. Social proof dips before it climbs again. His calendar fills with training, work, rebuilding health and boundaries. She keeps scrolling. He returns to his own body. He cannot control her, only how open the door stays. Strategy, not sin. You are fully responsible for your stance. Choose clear rules you live by instead of anxious improvisation. You are not punishing her. You are protecting your throne. Write down 3 contact rules that govern your phone. Circle each rule that came from fear, not conviction. Keep the page where you can see it and breathe. Each time her name appears, measure it against lines. Let the next reply wait until it matches your standard. Begin watching not her, but the man who answers. Let this distance become your living mirror. Kierkegaard would call this a quiet form of despair. You meet her on your phone and pour your future into it. She becomes the answer, cure, promise, the end of your ache. You are not dating a woman anymore. You are dating a story. Kierkegaard warns about building yourself on what vanishes. Here, you build your masculinity entirely on her attention. One late reply, and your hands shake above the keyboard. You think she holds your fate, but you handed it over. The attention economy magnifies her into an almost sacred image. Filtered photos, short stories, and status updates polish your projection further. You read online as thinking of you, seen as an obligation. Small dating signals swell until one green dot feels like proof. Kierkegaard would say, yourself now depends on her mood. Every silence becomes a threat. Every reply becomes oxygen again. You act like she is the king on this chessboard. You sacrifice boundaries, sleep, and work to protect a single piece. You vanish the second she pulls back, chasing the mirror harder. You think she is distant. You disappeared the moment you made her. You stop standing as a man and float as a reflection instead. Kierkegaard's answer is not about playing the game, but about reclaiming where you stand. Detachment means pulling your identity out of the project called her. You stop asking her to guard your confidence and masculine sovereignty. You stop trying to win and start walking away from need. Once you stop projecting, leverage shifts quietly. She is still free, her options still wide in the feed. The change is this: you control how accessible you remain. In dating dynamics built on scarcity, your distance becomes a boundary. So pause before you send the next wall of words. List 3 traits you obsess over most when you picture her. Notice which ones you keep outsourcing instead of building yourself. Let that list guide your distance and be the standard you enforce. Kierkegaard watches you standing at the edge of the board. You swear you were pushed, but your footprints point inward. You think she keeps using you. You keep offering yourself. Your response windows shrink around her, even in crowded rooms. This is the first mirror that does not flatter you. Kierkegaard calls the turning point the moment you admit. You chose this role in your own dating dynamics. You volunteered to be the one who texts first and apologizes. Every response window you rush through tells her your time is cheap. You think you serve love. You really serve her schedule. Kierkegaard would say you did not choose her patterns. You did choose to stay when your boundaries vanished. You kept accepting late plans, ghosted calls, and broken weekends. You think you were trapped. You walked back every time. You trained her to believe your time has no weight. Kierkegaard would see the attention economy training your panic. Under that pressure, her options expand while you wait. You check the phone, then shift work, then change training. You think this proves love. It only drains masculine sovereignty. She learns your life will always move to fit hers. Kierkegaard quietly studies this chessboard of dating dynamics on fire. She never asked for that sacrifice. You scripted the part. You think she holds the throne. You vacated your own seat. The mirror is cruel only because it shows your cooperation. Kierkegaard says strategy, not sin. Stop blaming her now. You are responsible for stance, not for punishing anyone. Choose one response window you always fear breaking, one recurring yes. Say clean no this week and guard that boundary. When the urge to fold arises, breathe and remember this walk. Kierkegaard stands beside you at the edge of risk. He sees how your love has lost tension and clear signals. You are always present, always replying, always smoothing every edge. Passion fades when nothing important can ever disappear. For Kierkegaard, real passion lives between risk and commitment. Take away risk, and all that remains is routine. You answer instantly, and you keep response windows wide open. She never has to feel the chance of losing you. The attention economy teaches you to be forever available. Double texts, instant likes, endless threads that never cool. You keep feeding dating dynamics that make your time look worthless. You think this is loyalty. It mostly reads as spare. Kierkegaard would call this a quiet refusal to choose. You cling to her instead of standing in your boundaries. You live near her phone, not inside your own body. Desire thins where there is no scarcity of you. Presence still matters in a world of constant notifications. Show up with weight when you are with her in person. Listen, hold steady eye contact. Let your words and touch land. Then step back into your own life. into your throne. Kierkegaard wrestled with his pull between relationship and calling. He knew the ache of feeling split down the middle. You taste the same divide around mission, training, and work. Part of you wants depth with her, part wants to build. Watch what happens when a man reduces his screen noise. Fewer messages, cleaner replies, more gaps in his evenings. As he protects his calendar, her selection of him shifts. She feels masculine sovereignty now. His world does not wait. This distance is strategy, not sin. No one is punished. You think loving her means erasing your own schedule. Often it erases her respect and your respect. Block 2 non-negotiable slots this week for work or training. Refuse to move them when she calls. Breathe, hold frame, and choose. Kierkegaard watches you when the room finally empties. You turn down the volume, and your world went quiet. The crowd moves through group chats and dating dynamics without you. Their screens glow, yours stays dark in your hand. You feel their noise buzzing at the edge of you. He calls this the desert after you leave the crowd. Detachment strips away constant contact, drama, and easy reassurance. You no longer get that hit from every feed. You start hearing how loud your own thoughts are now. This is where boundaries stop being theory and start. The attention economy calls your silence losing, not sovereignty. Friends send screenshots, ask why your response windows are slower. They joke about your new boundaries as if it is a phase. You feel the urge to prove nothing has changed at all. You notice how your scarcity unsettles the room. Kierkegaard knew what it meant to be misunderstood in public. He paid the price for choosing a path that looked foolish. You feel a fraction when group threads move without you. When plans and posts move without you, in social proof. Kierkegaard places you on the edge between noise and calling. She still tests your distance with late calls and vague messages. You think mockery proves your standards are foolish and fragile. Often, it proves your standards are new and unwelcome. You keep holding frame anyway, even when masculine sovereignty feels thin. Social proof dips for a season while you stay scarce. Fewer tags, fewer photos, fewer nights sacrificed to distraction. From the outside, it looks like loss and retreat and nothing. On the inside, your structure gains weight with every clean no. You think loneliness means you chose wrong, turn back, and confess weakness. Often, it means you finally stopped kneeling at every glowing window. Spend one weekend evening without her feed, without her number. Sit with the discomfort, write what it says, then choose standard. Kierkegaard says, a choice is not a single moment. It is a stance you repeat throughout the day. You think control comes from her reactions on your screen. It comes from the structure of your days. Detachment becomes a path when repetition hardens into character. Start with the throne you abandon to check your phone. Your schedule is where masculine sovereignty either lives or dies. In the attention economy, space gets filled by her. You move meetings, sleep, and training to match response windows. You call that love, but it quietly dissolves every boundary. Kierkegaard would have you choose the rules you live by first, then measure every call, text, and visit against them. A fixed wake time, training block, and work block. Set them once and notice how dating dynamics respond. You stop orbiting her and start moving under your own gravity. Jung later called this becoming a whole man alone. You stop hunting for completion and begin acting from surplus. You think detachment is a mood you wait to feel. It is a stack of decisions visible on your calendar. Without her contact for a day, who do you become? Watch how selection changes when your calendar gets heavier than hers. Your replies get slower, cleaner, without apology or long stories. Her tests of your boundaries meet a firm, quiet response instead. Some drift, others lean toward the new scarcity. Either way, your life no longer bends around her orbit. Strategy, not sin. Responsibility, not blame. Never punishment. You are accountable for your stance, not for anyone else. Design a 72-hour sovereignty block with clear pillars. Wake, train, work, and shut your phone's door. No checking her profile between tasks or before you sleep. For 72 hours, let these boundaries be law. See attention economy noise fade around your focus. Feel dating dynamics loosen their grip as your schedule hardens. Let that small experiment reveal the man who can walk. Kierkegaard starts here by cutting through your favorite illusion. You turned her into judge, jury, weather, and sky. In the attention economy, you gave her that role. You read every response window as a verdict on you. You forgot she is a person moving through her own storm. For Kierkegaard, illusion is the story you worship or hate. You think women are cruel. You never set real boundaries. You think she is testing you. You trained her first. Dating dynamics reflect the rules you live by in practice. Masculine sovereignty begins when you study the pattern, not the blame. Kierkegaard watched his own story about a woman finally dissolve. His former love went on and built a different life. She was never frozen inside his private script about her. Your version of her is stitched from fear, scarcity, and dating dynamics. Look at modern signals with a colder, clearer eye. When you slow replies, stop late rescues, and guard your time. She responds to structure, to scarcity, to the shape of you. Healthy women lean in. Others slide sideways toward easier ground. Kierkegaard would tell you this is a strategy, not social proof. You are responsible for stance, not for how she chooses. Control comes from reading every micro-change on the screen. It comes from the throne you build in your calendar. Let her be human again, and you become human beside her. So you try one small, clean experiment in dating dynamics. Hold a boundary once, without lecture, apology, or lengthy explanation. Watch her next move like a chessboard, not a verdict. Let her reaction mirror the truth of the structure you set. Note what you feel, write it down, and say, mirror. Kierkegaard ends with the figure he always cared about most. The single individual who stands alone before a calling. Not a crowd, not a feed, not her reaction or passing mood. You alone decide what you will serve and protect. For Kierkegaard, the highest life is not people-pleasing. It is answering something heavier than comfort or attention. Your detachment in love is one expression of that choice. You refuse to be ruled by being chosen or ignored. You think control in love means mastering her feelings. It means mastering your stance when dating dynamics shift. Masculine sovereignty is visible in your schedule and habits. Any woman you accept must fit inside that structure. In the attention economy, this looks strange on purpose. A man whose boundaries do not move with every ping, whose response windows reflect his work, training, sleep, not fear. Women attuned to depth feel that throne beneath his words. Those seeking only distraction drift toward easier, softer ground elsewhere. Kierkegaard's own writing outlived the romance that nearly defined him for years. He poured conflict into pages instead of chasing old closure. You do the same when you honor mission before romance. Each no at the forge hardens character she cannot bend. You think the story ends when she comes back again. The story is how you live, whether she returns or disappears. Walk as the man who can hold love and leave, who can care deeply without kneeling before a glowing screen. Write one sentence that names your mission beyond relationships. Place it where you see it, before every message. Let that line set your boundaries, not her mood. Then send, or don't, from that standard you enforce.